we go.
Hi, Laura. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. It's actually overcast in Melbourne. How's Sydney going?
Fairly, a little bit overcast as well, but mainly sunny at the moment, so which is good.
Fantastic. This is what we need from summer, do we? We have a little bit of a summer. Yeah, summertime.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure.
I think it's going to be exciting and incredible chat because I personally love people. I love creativity in all different ways and sorts.
Awesome.
And when I've seen your profile on Instagram, you just captured my attention, and I thought I need to bring this lady on because I think you just look amazing. Your work look absolutely incredible. For someone who doesn't know, my name is Anastasia. I'm from Ubizblog, and I've got Laura Dhir today. She's an incredible makeup artist and hairstylist as well. So we're going to talk about your journey, and she's probably going to tell us a bit more about herself. And let's roll in. So Laura, tell me, how did it happen one day? So you woke up and you said to yourself, I want to be a makeup artist. Or happened in your early childhood that you thought, I'm so crazy. I need to do something with this energy. Tell us, why do you do that?
Oh, geez. Well, I mean, put it this way, like I've always been very, very creatively minded, very artistic. Anyway, as a child, I always knew that I was going to go into something artistic. I wasn't 100% sure what. At the time, you know, we're kind of thinking, oh, like, you know, maybe doing like, you know, painting, drawing, fine arts, that sort of thing. And then, but it was actually my mum, funny enough, who suggested that I actually go into makeup, and it was actually based off a horror movie that I watched when I was about 13, and like freaked the crap out of me. If anybody knows The Ring from that was done in like
yeah.
I think it was released. Yes. So the American version. And so the villain, the little girl that climbs out of the well, and then the TV. Yeah. So I swear to God, that movie was way ahead of its time in terms of, you know, I think it was just the perfect combination of practical and visual effects. I thought the makeup on that was just so brilliant and so incredibly scary. And like, she basically just became my favorite villain, you know, from that point on. And my mum was like, well, you know, like, you know, you're kind of into horror. Why don't you do makeup? And then it just kind of clicked. You know, and well, you know, I got enrolled, you know, the next semester. You know, I studied, you know, then I did my diploma the previous year, and then, you know, I suppose the rest is kind of history. Yeah, so I suppose that was kind of my inspiration for getting in. Rick Baker is amazing, head of makeup, you know, on the first Ring films.
I wonder if you would send a letter to the director of this movie called it's a Ring, to say inspiration. Do you know? I've never heard of this. It's actually incredible how horror movies can impact you. Yeah, in the way of you wouldn't think. You always think that beautiful and attractive only and positive can actually stimulate you, but it's actually horror can also stimulate you to do different things. It's a very incredible, and actually I've never heard of it, but it's great. Yet to be honest with you, when I watched that movie, I was so scared, and I didn't want to watch it by myself anymore, because it's literally you feel the energy. And it's you can see that it's real, like it's not something artificial that has been created. It's actually the spirit. I've got a goosebumps now just talking about it. But it's a very interesting point. I've never heard of it, but it's good. So you obviously you were enrolled. Yeah, you decided this is your path, this is your journey, and because we've got makeup artists and we've got artists. We've got, for me, it's sometimes two different things. There's someone just putting makeup on you, and someone actually creating a completely different image of you, and creating different elements to it. So I guess this is the second type of artistry you're doing, So it's a bit of
when I can.
So say you can put the makeup, say I want a smoky eyes just for the day, or I want to be, I don't know, someone from Halloween movie. I want to go and scare someone else. So there's two different options you can do, right?
Well, I suppose you can. Well, I mean, technically more, you know, because I industry hop, you know, and I do different stuff. But I mean, I suppose simplified version, yes.
So the ideas you're generating, in generally speaking? Is it the client ask you, say, Laura, hey, I want this particular image today, or you saying, look, actually, I'm suggesting this and that. It's just in my mind. How does it come to you?
Well, I mean, it depends on the client and the job. Like some are a bit more specific and go, okay, like, here's a few reference images. Can you do something, like this? Or they'll go, okay, I want this. Like, for example, who was it? The Joker. I did Joker makeup a fair bit for Halloween the previous year in 2019. So, so I've got a few of those. Other times it'll be, I'll rock up and they're like, do whatever you want. What do you suggest? So it just depends on the client. It depends on the job, on the industry, or, sometimes I can, I'll base it around what they're wearing, what colors they like, maybe base it, match it to their shoes, their jewelry, like anything. So it's just from everywhere, basically.
So obviously you would do some movie productions as well. Yeah, like if it's a movie, sort of artistry, you need to create sort of image for a particular movie or documentary or whatever it is. Are you called for those types of work as well? Like on the basis?
Occasionally. At the moment, it's mostly smaller scale stuff. So usually the makeup is quite simple, like, just a really fresh, no makeup look, or like, just a little bit of, eyeshadow here and there. Sometimes I have gotten more creative, when it comes to doing stuff for film. Not very much. Although having said that, I've got a couple of other, a pickup shot and another shooting day for another film that a friend is working on. So he got me that gig, and I will be doing special effects for that as well. So like cuts and, big gashes and all that sort of fun stuff. So, and then I've got, some other horror movies actually coming up later on in the year. So, pardon me. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's very good. So your work wouldn't be the same. So every single time it would be different scenario. Yeah, like today you've
pretty
got
much.
Image, tomorrow you've got the next one. Because you also do like a bridal makeup as well. Yeah. For photography as well. We all love photography, hey, I need a makeup today and stuff like that. So that's absolutely incredible. And all of your work is in Sydney based, yeah? So you don't do, for example, states? Can you go to another state to do makeup as well?
I have actually put it like, on my website and on my Facebook page. At the moment, like I am based in Sydney, so most of my work obviously comes in Sydney. I have not yet been asked to go into state, but you know what, if I'm asked and if they're paying well, absolutely. I'd definitely do it.
So say if somebody wants to book you for Queensland movie production, you wouldn't say no.
I'm not. I would so
So look, do you have a particular guru inspiration within your industry? Maybe someone you had it like as a teacher? Like I know it's a question out of the blue, but maybe sometimes we learn from someone in the industry, or we look at sometimes at someone's profile. Oh, she or he is so good. I need to get some tips and tricks from them.
Yeah.
Do you have that inspiration? It could be even international guru. It doesn't have to be Australian, for example.
Yeah.
Because we all have those. Yeah, kind of sort of.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rick Baker is still my top. I mean, there are a couple of people, in Sydney who I think are absolutely, fantastic as well. Hang on, who was it? So actually one of my educators, when I went back to study in 2010, sorry, not 2010, that's when I got my diploma. 2018. Goes by the name of it's Lisa Cottrell, and so she's specifically, like more specifically, a special effects makeup artist. But before she got into makeup, she actually used to do autopsies. So so she was like very, very well versed, extremely knowledgeable, about that sort of stuff, and obviously her job in in that industry definitely helped her go, to move into special effects because, like she'd actually seen it for real. Like, it wasn't just, a picture or a movie that she was actually getting her stuff from, and I'm sure all those science textbooks would have been great too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because sometimes we've got those inspirations, like from someone in particular, maybe the teacher in the course, or maybe someone like you kind of felt connected to and closer to heart, and you kind of think, yeah, this person is actually, I can learn so much out of that person, and it could be anyone, even like internationally. I know that you become a finalist, so it's the Makeup Artist Guild Asia Pacific, that's correct. So in the creative category, so well done. It's a great
Thank you.
review. So was it actually difficult to get it? Obviously, you've done a lot of work. You work hard. You got your course done, your clientele, your website going. But was it difficult and challenging to get to that point?
Well, I suppose not really. Well, not really for last year, because 2020 was actually the third year that in a row that I've actually entered and gotten gotten a finalist position. The first year was when I was in 2018, and the woman, the makeup artist who actually runs the comp, Melanie Bernicle, absolutely fantastic. Works in fashion. She was obviously one of another one of my educators, and she encouraged me to apply. So like I did. Wasn't expecting much. Like I actually just wasn't expecting anything. I just thought, oh, you know what, I'll just do it for for funsies. Did it, and then I suddenly get an email that I'm a finalist, and it's like, oh, okay, radio. Didn't think didn't think that my work was quite quite that up to standard. So so 2020 was definitely the third year. I kind of expected to to get into that category, but what I didn't expect was getting into the other categories, because 2020 was actually the first year that I had actually entered multiple categories. So I entered 6 in total, including state makeup artist for New South Wales, and I was a finalist in all the categories, which that was actually a huge surprise. So I was very, very chuffed to learn about that.
Yeah, that's incredible, because it's kind of it's rewarding, because everything you're working, you're thinking, oh, it's actually acknowledged, seen, noted. I'm actually noted. Just like to get sort of acknowledgement is incredible, especially in the creative category. So
that's my favorite though.
You're kind of thinking, I've done something right, So obviously, if this since then, did your life change? Like since you sort of were becoming a finalist, did you find that you brought on board new clients, or maybe something inspired you and stimulated you to be more kind of sort of productive or efficient, whatever it is? Anything changed since that moment for you?
I suppose I just want to do bigger and better next year. Of course, as well as like getting more into sort of bigger films and stuff. Because that's kind of my ultimate goal. But it's more like sort of subtle, significant, sort of changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that makes sense. But definitely want to go much bigger, and hopefully bag an award next year. Sorry, this year. This year.
Yeah, because you want to continue the spin, right? Like this constant spin as well. I noticed on Instagram that or one of your social media is saying that art is work. Is it?
Yes, I've pretty much got no. So that's my personal Facebook profile.
Yeah. Is it your kind of statement? Art is work, or is someone else suggested that to you?
No, it was. I'm not sure if you actually saw this thing going around, but there was this poll sort of thing. I don't think it was actually going on in Australia. I think it was going on somewhere overseas. And it came up with this ridiculous statistic that I think about like 70% of people or something, didn't, think that arts, or like, like sort of arts degrees or arts, art-based jobs, were important. And, and people were like really, they were annoyed, Sorry, can I actually cuss on this interview, or should I watch my mouth?
No. You can say anything you want.
Oh, sweet. All right.
Fine.
They were pissed. Like people were really pissed off. And a lot of the, and like part of the reason that, being is that, like art is so integrated. Like, you don't even really realize it, but like, there's just so much stuff, that we don't realize is created by art, by artists, and, and actually don't realize how important it is, in our daily lives. And, like it's everywhere. Like, your clothes are created by artists, your houses are designed, by artists, in a way. I mean, architects, are definitely, I think is definitely an art form.
Absolutely.
Your entertainment, music, your paintings, sculptures in your house, like there's just so much stuff that we don't actually realize is created by artists. But when you actually look deeper, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that is, so yeah, like people were really annoyed, and don't get me wrong, like, doctors, lawyers, scientists, garbos, check out, people at the supermarket, like they're all important as well. I'd say that, like everybody's equally important. So yeah, but it was just more this, like this attitude, that we still have, within, like all over the world, that, art is not important, and you don't make much money, and, it's not needed, it's bullshit, really.
Yeah, look, I actually agree with you 100%, because when I've seen the statement "art is work," I was trying to figure it out what was meant by it, and now you actually told me a bit of a story about the background of it, because it drew my attention. It's a 3 words, but it sums up everything, right? Art is work. So because basically, like, I can't even imagine living in the gray world, where it's all gray, or it's all the same, or black and white. There's so many different shades of all of those colors, and people don't really realize sometimes the impact of the color on you. Sometimes, the impact of the design. You're looking at a particular sculpture and you're thinking, it makes you think. So people don't realize the impact of the art on us. So what do we do with that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Life would just bland. There wouldn't be anything else, We've got 2 and 2 means 4. But sometimes 2 and 2 can mean something else, you can read between the lines, it's so, I 100% agree, because I would be upset if somebody would said that to me, look, like art or your work that doesn't mean anything, it's like, what are you talking about, So people study, getting the profession.
But I mean, hey, look, artists provided our entertainment during lockdown. Like, come on, if you really think that, art is, completely, irrelevant and not needed, no more Netflix for you, no more Stan, no more music.
Exactly.
Get rid of your Spotify. Take out everything from your house, that has, bloody hell, stop wearing clothes. Seriously,
and still, if you have empty walls in your house, it's an art in a way, because somebody put that wall together and made that color, or created the particular corner, or so it's all, everything is art around us, and I think that's very, very important. So so now I understand what art is work means, because I didn't know what it is. So, like, what was the story behind it? So I know that you internationally published. So this is something I've seen in Insta, and what it is fantastic. Good job. Good on you. How did you do that? And how come the artist internationally published? But what publications you're in? What are they?
Okay, well, I actually have to thank my gorgeous friend Sarah, because she was the one who actually initially, she was the one who made me published. So Sarah runs, she creates her own cyberpunk magazine. It's called Machete Girl magazine, and so I did 2 issues on that, unfortunately just before lockdown, and we're just starting. We're just about to start to number 3. So that's 2 technically for Machete Girl. So series 9, issues 1 and 2. Then got Polka Dot Bride blog, which was done in I did the shoot in February or March. No, hang on, later than that. Actually, no, June, because that's when we came out of lockdown. June, and then that was released in December. Then we've also gotten Pump magazine, the floral issue, volume 1. Schubert Magazine, issue 40, volume 3, Osma Magazine, issue N13, and then Edith Magazine, issue 224, and Malvi Magazine, which is the Artist Edition, volume 58. So I think that's technically eight publications. Wow. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
Love you. Was it difficult to get in? Like, because it's not that easy to be part of the international, being published. You know, not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
How did you know some? Obviously, you knew someone to get in, or how did it happen?
Okay, well, I mean, with Sarah, like her magazine goes all over the world anyway. So, you know, so like there's a, you know, she's got a Patreon, like, you know, attached to that, and she's got, you know, subscribers from, you know, all over the world, you know, Asia, Europe, you know, Australia, America, like everywhere. Polka Dot Bride, I mean, honestly, I actually thought these, like a lot of these were actually going to be a lot harder. So, like I wasn't the one who actually submitted, you know, these for publication. Like I'd worked, you know, with other people who then, you know, submitted, you know, for everybody else. So, you know, and like in a few people that I've worked with. So, oh Jesus. So a friend. Well, I mean, she's become a friend / colleague. Lovely Bandles. She does like a runway thing for teenagers. So like a company. So so I did a bridal shoot for her back in September last year. Actually, was it September? Yeah, it was September. And that one then, so from that got the 3 submissions, so Pump, Schubert, and Osma. And then we had worked together again with a different photographer for Edith and Malvi. So so the photographer was basically the one who submitted like those publications. I was actually, oh, you know what? I've actually forgotten one. Crap, hang on. Oh, there was another one. Sorry,
you've got
there's one.
Yeah, because obviously you've got so many publications. Yeah,
okay, technically 9. Hang on, technically 9. Wait, what was the other one? Hang on, I actually have to go onto my Instagram and check this because I completely forgot to update that in my thing. Where is it? Here we go. Yep. Yes, Angels Australia. Angels Australia was the last one. So yes, technically 9.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was I was brought on. So the one that you've actually got up there. So that's that's
the one.
Yep. So that's by Sarah Joyce. Jesus. So so that was basically this was the issue that got me that basically made me an international published makeup artist. So
that's amazing, Laura. It's incredible. Congratulations on this one.
Thank you.
Do you have that? Do you have all these publications available for people to see on your website as well? Like if they jump on your website,
I do actually have a link and a folder to the Machete Girl website. So you can so if you go into my portfolio and you actually go to the Machete Girl folder within my portfolio, there is a link to go to that website, and you can either get the free version or the paid version from through Patreon.
That's amazing. Look, did you find that it was like really exciting to work the latest publication? Like, did you find that it was like you had butterflies and it was like you were very nervous? Kind of nervous.
A little bit. Like I mean, I've worked with Sarah before. She's gotten me plenty of work over the years, but it was kind of my first thing that was actually going to be in a magazine. So it was really it was quite fun, quite an exhausting shoot, pretty long day though. I will admit.
But it's good exhaustion, like you feel productively exhausted, but it's productive. You feel that you feel happy because this is what you love, this is your passion.
True.
Look, can you describe your happiest day as an artist? What's your perfect day on the job? Like, say you go somewhere, you've got maybe the best client, or you've got maybe someone or the work you're doing in particular you're enjoying the most. So what is your happiest day?
I would probably I'll probably describe it as, I mean, working, you know, with either, you know, amazing clients or amazing crew, or, you know, a mix of both, you know, who are, you know, chill but professional, you know, who can laugh, and then, you know, kind of switch back, you know, to, okay, you know, we've got to get this done, you know, sort of straight away, you know, getting paid well, and, you know, I mean, I suppose just, you know, things really going smooth without too many hiccups, you know, or, you know, but I really do feel that, like, you know, just, you know, the environment, you know, and the people that you're working with, I think are very, very important. You know, if I have that, you know, I can do pretty much anything, really.
Yeah, the sky's limit. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So what's next for you? Obviously, after lockdown and all this COVID situation that put the world on their knees, and we all kind of struggle. We all had issues with our job, social life, and time frames. So what's the next week? Is it more bookings coming along, or how do you find the time now, that your time in terms of after COVID situation sort of time?
Oh, geez. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's been pretty much the same, you know, since out of lockdown. It's really, you know, for the most part, I've just been, you know, looking for more clients, you know, trying to just get more work, you know, trying to get it back up. So I think I've recovered fairly well, considering. You know, I've got a couple of, you know, decent paying shoots, you know, like film shoots coming up. So that's, you know, definitely on the books. You know, like ideally, you know, I really want to get onto, you know, bigger budget stuff. I did try to weasel my way onto Thor because they're filming in Sydney, but they started filming without me, so I was really miffed. I don't know, you know, that I couldn't get on there. You know, like, even just for the experience, I think it just would have been, you know, fantastic. You know, and we really don't have that much stuff happening in New South Wales anyway. You know, so everything is either, like, you know, in Queensland or South Australia or Melbourne. Like, I mean, Melbourne's still pretty much, you know, the film capital of Australia. So
yeah, we've got a lot of filming, like, productions in Melbourne as well. Like, a lot of productions happening here in Melbourne. Yeah, so you might get some jobs in Melbourne as well. So, because it's
possibly
after COVID situation, yeah, everything will come back to normal, hopefully, and there will be more bookings and more opportunity. Do you have a lot of weddings? People asking you to just make them for the weddings? Because people probably after lockdown be like, oh, we're getting married.
Yeah. I have actually had like a few more weddings, you know, pop up. Yeah, at the moment. So it's now, like, you know, just kind of a balance of, you know, trying to do everything at, you know, all at once. But yeah, like film and TV, and doing, you know, like more special effects and prosthetics, and really more character sort of stuff is really when I want to be, like, really where I want to be, because, you know, like, that's where I get to be really, really, you know, creative, and kind of let my imagination go a little bit nuts. So I do love my fantasy. I'm such a nerd.
I like that one. So it's good. It's good because the client can tell, look, this is what I want. Then you just let go, and you know, it's just sometimes you create something really, really special, something unique. So like, out of all your clients, say for example right now, so what they asking you for mainly? Is it just normal makeup or something creative? What's prevailing, or what's the sort of kind of what's mainstream at this stage? Is it just a regular makeup and
well, I mean, something? Yeah, like at the moment, you know, like, I mean, most of my clients at the moment are still private clients, so that's, you know, like weddings and other special occasions like that. I have been working with a photographer recently, though, like, doing portfolio building, and, like, you know, just helping her out with her business. So doing like empowerment shoots. So like just like a really soft, you know, sort of nice glam on these models. So yeah, like, I mean, that's most of the work that I'm currently doing at the moment. Like, you know, like, that's pretty much my bread and butter at present, you know, and then, you know, just whenever I can, I apply for, you know, film work, you know, whatever film work that, you know, pops up. Yeah. Really. But yeah, so thankfully I've actually got a few things lined up. So yay.
How to book you in? Like, for example, if somebody wants to book you in, so the website is the best platform, or obviously after this video, I'm going to put all your details, Facebook, Instagram, and website. But what's the main platform where the easiest way to book you in, and you will reply straight away and just easier for everyone?
I'll probably say Facebook or phone. I think are the main ones. I mean, okay, like I get most of my clients from Facebook, but yeah, definitely, email me, through the website, Instagram as well. I've also got Twitter. I mean, I think I've only ever gotten like one person from Twitter, but hey, you know what? It's still there.
Yeah, Twitter is a particular story with Twitter. It's very different from anything else.
That's true.
Yeah, it's I agree. I've got Twitter too, but
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but that's cool. All right, so website,
Facebook and phone,
call,
really.
email.
Yeah, so Facebook, email, so through the website, phone, and Instagram. Or probably, those are the big ones.
So the last question is very tricky, probably out of the blue, and I always ask everyone, but I forgot to probably mention it previously. So I'll give you a very small, like a easier option. Instead of 5, I'll give you 3. So what's the top 3 points of difference of Laura Dhir, makeup artist, compared to us? 3 points of difference. Number 1, why do I have to book Laura today?
Right. Okay, very interesting.
I think be a very simple statement.
I think the first one is probably I'd probably say versatility. I don't currently specialize in one area. I can kind of switch between different looks relatively easy, and that also helps me from falling into like just into certain habits, or just like very specific looks. So like if I go for a wedding, I'm going after one look. If I go for a film, then I have to go do something completely different. If I'm doing like a photo shoot, or like an editorial kind of look, they're very they've all got their own different rules, if that makes sense. So I'd probably say versatility. Second. Geez. Second.
It could be anything, like anything you think of. You differ from the other makeup artists. Something you do different.
Well, I mean, I try and get, give my clients what they want, to the best of my abilities. So if they show me a picture, I'll go, okay, yeah, look, this is, like I can definitely work with those colors. I can, do this, is that, but please bear in mind, it may look different, on your face, because of course you've got a different, eye shape or a different eye color or whatever, to, the thing. And, like most of my clients are quite, chill, and quite flexible in that sort of thing. I'd probably say flexibility as well.
Flexibility, fantastic.
Yeah, flexibility as well would be a big one.
Yep. So the last one, the third. It could be anything.
My batshit crazy imagination.
Yep. Creativity. That creative side of you that take you on the let go, as you said. And how did you say that? You said that let your creativity go nuts. You said that? Yeah, I like that one.
yes, definitely. So that's probably one of the reasons why Halloween is probably one of my busiest times of the year as well, because I do get to be way more creative, in that regard. But and I love bright colors. I love working with fun. I like making weird stuff but pretty stuff as well.
Yeah.
So like kind of mashing up the two. And I think that that kind of plays into my love of fantasy, because like in fantasy anything is possible, so you can do pretty much whatever you want. Well, nearly.
Do you still sometimes watch the movie Ring just to remind yourself where did it all start? Sometimes.
You know what? I'll be honest, I haven't actually watched. Yeah, no. I mean, the Japanese ones are, are definitely the originals.
Oh, yes. Yeah. There's a couple of versions of it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so the Japanese ones, and then you got Ring 1 and 2, which are, so the American ones, and of course they were brilliant and terrifying. The third one I didn't actually like that much. I think it might have been like a different director or whatever, but it flunked in my opinion. So I haven't actually sat down and watched them recently. I'm still kind of in my fantasy and serial killer docu-series phase at the moment. So yeah, I go through phases where I just binge watch stuff.
Thank you so much, Laura. It's Laura Dhir, and I really had fun, and I think it's coming back to that phrase, art is work. I think that's the key, and it's also realization how much work creative people putting into the process. And I think our life would be completely boring and gray. As much as gray is also still a color, but there's different shades of everything, and people get to remember that this world needs creativity and let your imagination go nuts.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree.
It's one of my favorite phrases. Thank you so much for coming in and joining Ubizblog today. I'm going to put all the links so you will be able to book Laura. She's based in Sydney, but she's happy to travel once all the borders open and we're all COVID-free, and hopefully the situation will change. So if you want someone who will let the imagination go and putting a lot of creativity into work, please book Laura. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend, and speak to you soon in the nearest future. Thank you, Laura.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.